Hello, hello. Welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Vampire the Masquerade Burn It Down, The Devil's Playground Part 3. Thank you everyone who has started following the channel, especially if you're watching right now. We love having new viewers. It was really great to have B. Dave Walters on the show last time. And I just wanted to remind everyone, if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Simulacra Studios. You can also subscribe to the channel via Twitch. Even better if you do it via your Twitch Prime account, because that costs you less money. But we're going to go ahead and bring everybody on now. Do it. There we go. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right, well, here are our vampires tonight for a vampire story. I will go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. My name's McKenna. I can talk tonight.
All right, stream's canceled. We're done.
I play Cadence, resident Gangrel, and I found a new phrase that I like for her, which is Manic Pixie Dirt Goblin.
Ooh, I like it.
Hey guys, I'm Dylan. I play Madison Faircloth. He's the Ventrue in our little still unnamed coterie, with very big plans and not necessarily the best motivations for pursuing them.
Oh my.
Ooh. Hi, I'm Mo. I'm going to be playing Willow Walsh tonight. I think I'm going to be in trouble with a lot of people in this upcoming session. It's kind of a mess, huh?
Fantastic. And I am Scott Kuban, your storyteller. Alex, James, the player of Alex R. Malkavian, is not with us tonight. He had a work thing that he had to deal with, so we look forward to his return. But we're going to go ahead and get back into the action, and we're going to take up pretty much exactly where we left off. You have a trunk full of Banu Hakim, a communal haven that has burned to the ground, and the suspicion that that ears are watching and ears are listening and eyes are watching in your domain. So you're not sure how secure you are here, if you've eliminated the threat or if there's more in the waiting. Alex, he is very badly burned from going into the haven to get the cup, which he is clutching to him, and he tells you that he firmly believes that he needs to go off on his own, that bad things will happen if he stays with you, and he needs to get this cup into a safe place. So he very quickly orders a driver to pick him up. And as the sound of that car is is driving off, the lingering sounds of Salvador Garcia's motorcycle still present in your minds. This is where we return. You guys are on the street near your haven. What are you doing?
I gaze down the street and say, that man is entirely too fucking cool.
He's okay, I guess.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah.
You gonna be okay though, Willow?
I'm fine.
No, you're not.
What are we going to do with these guys? Are we just going to...
So, I'm not a big fan of killings when they're not necessary.
Yeah, but if we don't, they're just gonna back to try to off us again.
But this time we're going to keep the hostages staked, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean...
Just running that past you. It seems like the past couple of times we made the choice not to do that and it didn't turn out well.
Well, Sister Lynn wasn't a hostage. She was a guest.
You know, it doesn't, off them if we keep them staked, shove them in a box, and sink that box to the bottom of the ocean. You know that, right?
That's a technicality. Come on
I
now.
mean, it's a valid technicality.
Oh, no.
I have a warehouse I could shove them in.
Listen, we don't know why this happened.
We know exactly why it fucking happened.
We don't know which why.
Point.
So what we need to do is find out which why. And these people might know that, which means we can't kill them yet. But we also need to get them somewhere secure that we can bunker down in. And that's not going to be our communal haven anymore.
Nope.
Madison, do you have your heightened senses up at the moment?
I'm going to say probably yes,
okay.
After a fight went down.
Yeah. I mean, you're sort of hearing the sounds of the city. that continues to intrude upon your awareness. But I would like for you to please roll me wits and awareness, adding your level of Auspex.
Okay, I will. I get a whole extra die. I got a success.
Okay. You begin to hear on the very edge of your perception, and you notice this because it's a sound that hasn't been present for a few hours. But you start to hear the beginnings of sirens starting to come.
We're still with the East Street Boys, right? Because they helped us beat the shit out of these guys.
They've probably dispersed.
They've dispersed by now.
Okay, that's fine.
They basically Trayvon has basically said that they they need to check on their haven, and they want to make themselves scarce. Plus,
that's actually what I was going to suggest, so that's fine.
Plus, they've got a little situation with their boss, who obviously been sending them angry texts, and they need to manage that, so they're not currently around.
Down with the East Street Boys, not great right
No,
now, because he's going to be in a pretty bad mood. My office building isn't too far from here, and honestly, it's pretty secure. I have people there in the day.
All right, well, we can go regroup there and figure out where we're actually going to sleep.
I can put the car in one of my garages and just...
Okay.
We can think about it.
If we're looking for a place to sleep, I mean, I'm pretty sure the place I've been staying hasn't... I'm pretty sure no one else knows about it.
I will note that all of you, I believe, have some damage on you.
Oh yeah.
Some more than others. So that is a thing that is on your mind.
I took 2. I'm all right.
Madison, with your senses up, your attention is drawn. You see a van pull onto the street that you're on about 3 blocks away and park itself there.
All right. We need to go to wherever you're going to take us, Willow. Let's do it.
Sounds good.
As you're sort of marshaling yourself, you actually you notice the lights flash like 3 times. And it's parked so that the lights are in your direction.
Do I recognize that car? Or that signal?
I mean, you can probably check it out. Do you want to be obvious about it, or do you want to try and be inconspicuous about checking it out?
I mean, at first, he's just going to take a moment and kind of like gesture with his head to the other 2, just kind of towards the van to indicate a point of interest while he just sees if he can think of anything.
Want me to go take a look?
I'm going to start getting in the car. I'm getting it warmed up. And so I'm actually going to get into the car because I'm starting to I feel really bad about that due to what happened earlier this night. Any sort of van right now is just sending off like big bad feelings.
Okay, so how are you, because like I said, this is about 3 blocks away, but no one's gotten out of the van. So do you want to, how do you want, like I said, do you want to try and check it out conspicuously or inconspicuously, Madison?
I'm gonna leave this one to Cadence because she volunteered to go check it out.
All right. So are you trying to approach the van stealthily, or what are you doing?
Cadence, if you get any kind of light on them, I can see if I can see them from back here.
Okay. I mean, I was just gonna hop off into an alley, go dog, and then see if I could.
Yeah, that's what I was about to suggest.
That also works.
Then me and Dylan get in the car and see if it follows is the idea.
Okay, I like that plan.
If it follows, then it's a problem. If it doesn't, I want to express to McKenna where my place is and how she can get in, and just sort of so she's prepared for when she shows up, and the people running security at my place aren't like, "What's this dog doing here?"
Why would they be signaling us though if they have bad intentions?
Maybe they're not signaling us.
I mean, that's pointed right at us.
Oh, yeah,
you're technically right, but.
So Cadence,
I'm getting in the car.
I just all I need from you is the route check to go dog.
That's pass.
Okay.
She's gonna do it out of sight of the car, obviously.
Yeah. So you head up the alley while Willow and Madison are starting to start up the car, and you get a good look at the van. It is kind of a large, large passenger van that seems to it's a windowless, very large kind of van. And on the side it says BST CrossFit, Vinings, Georgia.
She knows who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're so nosy.
Fucking hell. So can she? Does she recognize the driver if she looks in the
Yeah,
in
it's
the windshield?
It's the girl who was at the reception desk when you went to that place earlier.
Okay. She is so Madison and Willow have they're driving away at this point, correct?
Yeah.
Slowly, yeah.
Okay.
Are you
All right.
Which way are you driving? Are you because like I said, you've got 3
Away.
blocks to work, so you're away from the van. Okay.
Yeah, out of sight. That way, if I see it again, it's following me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Does it start to move? Does the CrossFit van start to move once they start driving?
Once they turn the corner, you hear it get into gear and it pulls
Okay.
out onto the street.
She's gonna jump on the hood.
Okay.
Big balls. Okay.
Yeah, it's fairly easy. It hasn't really gotten up to speed yet.
We're in her territory. So.
Yeah, the woman, the woman sort of slams on the brakes and clutches her chest a little bit and just composes herself and she's like, "Hi, doggy."
Oh crap.
Do you want to bark menacingly?
Yeah, no, she's gonna growl and then she's gonna hop off the hood and just smack her paw against the driver's side door.
Are you getting in a car with a stranger?
No, she wants this person to get out of the car.
She rolls the window down a little bit and looks out at you and says my boss sent me to offer you guys a ride and a place to stay. He says that you guys are in a lot of danger.
He's right.
Yep. She's gonna nod.
He wanted me to say sanctuary and hospitality.
Cadence is gonna nod, and then she's gonna run off after after Madison and Willow.
So presuming that you maintain your cruising speed, Cadence, you are able to catch up to them pretty easily.
Yeah, when I see her in the mirror, I slow down in the rear view.
Okay. She can't get into the car by herself.
Yeah, Madison will reach back and pop up passenger door when she's in position.
Yeah, she hops in and then turns back to normal Cadence.
So
it's the Setites. They offer hospitality and sanctuary.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense too.
Cool. Yeah, I still have to stash this car because it sure was here. And so I need to make this car disappear. So yeah, we can get in the van in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want us to hang with you for that process or?
So you see the car sort of the van round the corner behind you, and it doesn't get up on you, but it just sort of stops maybe a block and a half away from you.
You guys can go get in. I'm going to ditch the car. And
what about the guys?
We'll bring the guy. I would rather have the guys in
the guys.
Right, so we need to find somewhere that is not the middle of the street to offload 3 unconscious men.
Oh, yeah, no, I figured we were going to keep them in the car while I stashed the car away out of sight.
Right, but then we gotta...
Well, we're gonna take them with us?
I would rather they potentially know where the Setites are than potentially know where you've got shit going on.
Also, we can always kill them. I said I don't want to.
You said you didn't want to.
I did say I don't want to. I didn't say I wouldn't.
Okay. All right. Good.
Cool. All right. Yeah, we can do this in the garage in a closed, gated off parking lot at my place.
Perfect.
I give a little signal with my lights to
Okay.
the van to follow.
Okay. She seems to pick up on that, and so you drive over to your office area.
Yeah, go to my gated parking lot where we keep a lot of our, windowless white vans.
I mean, yeah, you
You
you do have that. So
Sometimes.
it pulls in beside you, and she just sort of the girl sort of rolls the window down. She says like, she waves to Willow and to Madison like, "Hi, I mean, do you guys want to do the thing? Is that what's going on here?"
We're gonna be getting in the back of your windowless truck here in just a moment. I just have to take care of a couple things. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we're down with that. You guys need to like stash anything or
Oh, we got stuff to
Oh.
stash.
No fucking kidding, yeah.
We got 3 staked cami goons in the back of the.
Okay, keep that to yourself.
What?
Keep that to yourself, Cadence.
What? He's gonna see him putting them in the van anyway.
Stay in the car. I say to the Sedite affiliate, Sedite adjacent person.
she's like,
Um,
I mean,
But
however you
what
want to
you're
do.
looking for is ghoul.
She's like, yeah, like however you guys want to do this. I just, she's kind of like looking you guys over a little bit. She's like, cool. Cool. Yeah, no,
And so-
however you guys want to do this, I like when your guys are ready, I can drive you to our place.
I open one of the garages
Mhm.
there, and I sort of like park the car in there, and then arrange because it's kind of a big,
Yeah,
it's kind of a big thing. People do a lot of repairs and stuff in there.
Mhm.
I get in there, I get another car, and I
Mhm.
park it behind my car,
Gotcha.
the one that we just did. So it's hard to get out without having to move a second car.
I dig it.
And so I'm like, okay, so do you guys want to take the hostages?
Yeah.
I'm certainly
All
not
three of
letting
them.
them go.
Okay, well, what are the logistics of us carrying 3 grown-ass fucking men?
I mean,
they're staked, so
A
they're
big
basically.
ass
Maybe we
van.
could take one, the strong one.
It's a pretty like the van that you guys are getting into is a pretty big van.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we can just stack them Jenga style in the
Yeah.
trunk, and then we sit in the seats.
But why? Sorry, this isn't me. This
Because
isn't
we
her
don't want him
laughing
out
at
of
me.
sight.
There are several reasons, but the main one is that I'd prefer to avoid taking a life tonight if that's possible.
Okay.
That's going to be important in the long term for us.
Okay.
Can we keep one here just in case shit goes bad?
My concern is that someone's gonna find that one. Even if we don't do anything with him, I don't want him out of earshot.
Okay. All right. We're gonna take 3 grown-ass assmites. It's fine.
That's right.
I start like getting him out of the trunk.
Okay.
Willow
Yeah,
was like, I just
The back of the van, the door to the back of the van gets popped. It's a super fancy one, so it like the door rises on its own accord, and
oh, this is a good van.
It is a good
it's a
van.
pretty good van.
Stroke.
Jostle, jostle, jostle.
I can appreciate a good van when I see one.
Yeah, when you chuck Mikhail in, there's a moment when who is ever handling him just sees his eyes staring at you, immobile but still very much present.
I'm gonna sit in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Well, these gentlemen deserve some company, don't you think?
Mm.
That motherfucker shot at me not 45 minutes ago.
Yes, also myself, yes. I just thought maybe I could talk to them a little bit, Make sure they're not bored.
Okay, cool. I tap the backside of the ghoul's
Mhm.
seat like we're ready to go.
Like, all right, cool. And it's like one thing, and she like gets out a little like laptop bag.
Oh, here it comes.
And like opens it up, and she starts handing you guys little tablets. And she says, "So yeah, no, we're offering complimentary services tonight. So if you just want to like look through that, and no obligation, but we like to be able to provide. So yeah, no, and she starts to drive.
She's holding it and she looks back at Madison like,
I'm lawyering this lawyer shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Cadence is legitimately confused by the tablet. Like, she knows what these things are, but she's never actually used one.
I mean, it's very like ergonomic. It's hard. It's hard not to figure out how to use these things. Like the second you touch the screen, it like comes alive and it has like this very easy to parse form. There's like kind of a boilerplate that basically says that this device logs any requirements, preferences, things that would for current and later services, that it is biometrically locked. And has options for any additional sort of cryptography that you might wish to employ on it. That no person sees this information. It gets handled algorithmically, so that when services are called upon, you are provided what you need. You need. It's all very like privacy boilerplated. And it has things like feeding restrictions, preferences, basically, and plenty of spaces for just
like
little
a
notes.
menu.
It is basically kind of like a menu, not just for feeding, but for like sleeping arrangements, drug preferences, and any and all kind of things that a kindred might need in a pinch.
Yeah, so I got 6 successes on intelligence academics to figure out what the fucking catch is.
I mean, you have to put in the things that you like in there. Now they
The catch is that the Setites know everything about you now.
That's the obvious catch. I'm looking for the sub catch.
Oh.
I'm reading the EULA.
Oh. Yeah, you absolutely do read the EULA, and it's
next level.
Now, the caveat here is that everything here in this EULA is airtight, from a legalistic standpoint. However, you're vampires.
Right.
So like it can't be super direct. Like it's like
they can't go to the government for this shit, and they can't they can't go like the Camarilla doesn't honor this shit, and the Unbound, yeah, sure, but it is tied up with enough language that sort of ties it into the system of prestation and like boons and whatnot that you don't think that they could go against what they're telling you this is without incurring some social debt or some social thing. And the catch is, technically they have your information. Right. And they can use it in a big data sort of way to find out things about you and ways to get in on you.
Well, that's fine. Just, be discreet.
Cadence is going to fill out the bare minimum of what she needs to.
Okay.
She's
Willow
not
browses, but she's just like, she's super uncomfortable. Like, this is weirdly invasive. She knows better than to put your information on anything. She does this as a living. And she's like, I don't want to tell you. I don't know you.
Madison is going to put in his feeding preference, but he's going to couch it in other preferences and false restrictions that are made up but don't actually interfere with what he wants.
Gotcha. All right, that's doable. So she starts to drive up north of the city, and after 20 minutes or so, you guys are in Vinings, and she actually.
Along the way, I am going to speak to the staked Mikhail, because I know they can still hear me. They just can't interact with me.
What are you saying to him?
All I'm saying is, so you're smart. You obviously know what's going on. There's going to come a point later this evening where we're going to have a conversation. And I'm giving you a heads up now so that you can go ahead and think through that and what you're going to tell me, so you can make sure that you don't do anything you and your brothers here might regret. Emotions run high. We just had a big fight, but there's nothing personal. I understand it's just business. Just think about it.
Cold, glass-eyed stare that is still nonetheless looking directly at you.
And then I pat him on the head and go back to my tablet.
All right. So the car pulls up to something that might be a little unexpected. It pulls up to a. It's labeled as a dairy farm. And she goes in to one of it's got a very large outdoor sort of grass-filled grazing area, but it's got a number of lack of a better term, stable buildings. And she drives up to one of them, and she gets out and says, "So yeah, you guys look pretty fucked up. So y'all can take care of yourselves here." She kind of looks over to you, Madison, and checks on her tablet. She says, "We can take care of you later."
I'll be all right. I think I took the least of it of the three of us, so I'll soldier on.
He's like, "So yeah, these are due pretty soon for the slaughter, so shouldn't raise any questions. Take your fill."
She double takes at the sentence and is just like, okay, well maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking.
And yeah, she opens the door, and it is a room sort of just on the limit of what might you consider humane capacity, filled with baby cows.
Oh, see, for a second there, I was super worried you were referencing people. And she says that. She's honest for a moment. She's like, yeah, no, I was super concerned for a second. I've seen some shit recently, and this is honestly...
No, just cows here.
Okay, good. All right.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, go knock yourself out. I lean back and talk to Madison. Hey. So, I heard that Bonnie Hakeem have poison blood. Is that true?
I've heard that as well.
I mean, they're right here.
Are you feeling scientific, Willow?
I'm not trying to poison myself tonight. Maybe another night.
Well,
I'm gonna go eat some cows.
You do that.
So yeah, you are able to heal all of your superficial damage and get down to 1 hunger in whatever order you so desire. You still can't heal. I believe you have 1 more ag.
I think I have 2 more ag.
More ag?
I have 2 ag and 2 superficial.
I'm pretty sure you healed 1 of your ag last game or last session.
I had 3
Oh,
and I
3.
healed.
Okay, yeah.
And I healed 1.
So you got that 2 ag is on you because you can only heal 1 a night. So yeah, but you can take care of all of your superficial and get down to hunger 1.
Fantastic.
With a somewhat disturbing amount of baby cows. I mean, yeah, they're docile. They don't really. I mean, after the 3rd one, you get the jitters out of some of them, but it's not a problem.
So, are you killing cows, or are you drinking from a larger number than you would need to if you were killing them?
They're cows. They're veal meat. Someone's gonna eat them. Might as well be her.
That's about
Yeah.
answer.
I like that.
It's a good answer.
So Willow isn't partaking in the veal?
No, she's not partaking in that veal.
Fair enough.
She's
She wants to get blood bond with
debating
these
whether or not she
dangerous
wants
fellows
to.
in the backseat.
Yeah, she has a problem. She's thinking about these guys in the back seat. She has an addiction, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you look over them, and they've all have wounds on them. There's a little bit of vitae coming out of some of their area. It doesn't appear to be smoking or hissing or anything. It just looks like vitae. It smells real good.
Madison.
I'm not going to judge you.
No, I was asking for you to maybe try some first.
No.
Madison.
No, don't you even try to pout on me.
She's like, the girl who's sort of leaning by the car, she's like, "You need a taste tester?"
Oh.
Damn.
Yes.
She's
Please
like,
go on.
You're fucking great, aren't you?
I've seen some shit, man.
Yeah.
And
I'm impressed.
She goes out. She pulls out like a little leather kit from her jacket. She pulls out just like a hypodermic needle and just jams it into like their belly.
Yeah, I
pulls out a
want
little.
Mikhail. Test that one. To the older one.
Oh, she's like.
Test that one. Mm-hmm.
She actually looks to Madison.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah, go ahead,
jams it into his belly, pulls out a little bit, and like puts a little couple of drops on her tongue. She's like her knees buckle a little bit. Like she's like, oh, that's spicy.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. She like drinks the rest of it.
Let's switch seats.
Yeah, let's switch seats. She just clambers over the back.
Okay. So how
Listen,
much?
I'm wounded. I need this.
Yeah, how much damage do you have right now?
I have, let's see, 2 superficial right now from the bullets, and then getting caught by Salvador Garcia.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and roll to heal those? Just see where your hunger tops out.
All right.
So you basically have to
So
roll.
for-
You roll one rouse check per superficial that you want to heal.
Okay, so I would be able to get rid of 1 because I rolled 2 dice and only got 1 success.
Well, you don't.
All right, is that how that works?
No, that's not how that
You
works.
heal it either way.
You heal it either way. It just determines whether or not you get hungrier for doing so.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Well, then, let me try this. All right. So then I should be fine for that first one, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then,
Well, I heard you
And
roll
for the
twice,
second
so you.
yeah.
So
The-
you
for
should.
the first one, I'd rolled 2.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't want to be.
All right,
I didn't want to be like, oh yes, it's definitely that one. You know what I
that's
mean?
fair. That's fair.
Okay, yeah.
No. Okay, so yeah. So what's your hunger out after healing?
After healing, I didn't go up in hunger,
Okay.
so right now I am at 1.
Oh, okay. So you actually don't need to feed in order to abate your hunger below.
She still wants to.
I mean, you still want to.
I mean, oh God, see, there's a tough question there on.
I mean, no one
far I go
knows
here.
that your
Yeah.
hunger didn't go up.
You just healed a bunch of
Yeah.
damage. We're assuming you are hungry.
Yeah, I suppose I could just just keep going until like the blood blood pressure gets pretty low. The water pressure here isn't what it used to be.
So you bite in and partake.
It's good.
So yeah, it is good. I mean, it's potent. Like he's obviously older than you're used to, and it does have this kind of exotic component to it. Like
We've never had this before.
like worldly, you get the sensation. Like
Mm.
it's been places and absorbed cultures that you're unfamiliar with through its own feeding. So yeah, if you were reducing your hunger, how much would you take?
Oh God, if I was reducing my hunger,
Mm-hmm.
probably right until they die.
Okay, so
if
you're
this
going.
if this was immortal, I would have.
Okay, so you take
really
a
hurt them.
heady amount of vitae from this guy,
Yeah.
and there's a lot. Like
He's
there's
immobile.
Yeah.
He's at my mercy, and this is like, he shot at me.
Yeah,
And so yeah, there's like a lot of.
But
bad
when you're
feelings,
done,
but
like-
this is also good.
yeah,
I
but
forgive him just
when you're done, it's like, well, you understand.
He gets it.
I mean, it'll be fun for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
but anyway, yeah. So when everyone's business is done, she gets back in the car and says like, "We're night doesn't last forever, everybody."
I mean,
Ready
take
when
us
you
back
are.
to wherever, man.
Yeah, so she drives a couple of blocks away to an unmarked but very nice building. It's can't really. It's one of those ones where it could be a residence or it could be a business. The architecture isn't very distinct, so it kind of straddles the line between them. And she pulls into a garage, and basically says, "Yeah, so this is we have guest quarters here. You guys are free to, do your thing. I'm told that the boss is he's coming in from Cairo tonight, so he'll be here come sundown. So yeah, he definitely wants to talk to you guys.
Okay.
I want to talk to him too. So
She's like, cool. Do you guys? Oh, she turns to you, Madison. It's like, do you want to take care?
Yeah, I do.
She's like, follow me. And
Willow, do you want to figure out where to put our guests?
I can keep them with me.
I was thinking maybe they could you put them somewhere with a view, right? Like obviously not too inconvenient, but just someplace.
No, I'm keeping Mikhail with me.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense.
like she's like, by view, do you mean like place they can see the sun but not get burned by it?
That's basically exactly what I was getting.
Oh, we totally have rooms for that.
Oh my god.
This place is fucking great.
She presses an intercom, and she talks to somebody on there, and like within a couple of minutes, a guy comes in with like a dolly, and like loads the two of them up. Is that just the two?
Yeah, just the two. I'm
All right,
keeping
just
this
sort of
one.
loads them up and pulls them into an elevator.
Hey, Willow.
Hey, what's up?
Make sure you don't have a fucking hangover tomorrow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
I figured you out.
All right, cool. Yeah, so let's and she motions Madison to come with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, when you get into sort of like this private room, it's more like you'd guess it's like a massage room, just by the way it's laid out. There's a chair that could be very much like a massage chair. And she says, go ahead and sit here. We do have some safety precautions that we require people to go through. And she like pulls out a cabinet, and there's these pair of, for lack of a better term, like medical looking cuffs. She's like, please put these on.
What are these?
And she starts to like take off her overshirt, and she takes something from out the drawer. It looks like some sort of electrode, and she puts it under her shirt, like over her breastbone. She's like, well, this is a heart monitor, and she sort of starts connecting electrical cables to the cups.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I got you.
Cool. So we don't need to go into it.
Right.
Yeah, she's like,
you have nothing to worry about.
I mean, yeah, but we like to keep things copacetic here.
Trust but verify.
Cool. I like this tech a lot. Like a lot.
So she's like, yeah. So she's like, you're tougher than average. Like she kind of asks it as a question, but not a question.
Yeah.
She turns a dial up one notch, and she says, don't go crazy. And she holds out her wrist.
So, Auspex, is she a ghoul or a vampire?
Make your roll.
Because I just want to know if she has a heartbeat.
She definitely has a heartbeat.
Okay, that's the question. It's the old-fashioned way of figuring it out.
Like you're close enough to her, and you definitely hear her heartbeat.
Sure. Well, he's just gonna kind of look at her and then. Whoop.
All right. Are you gonna? Let's go ahead and heal first.
I already rolled. Succeeded one, failed one.
Okay.
I only had 2 damage on me, and that puts me at hunger 3. So I only have to do a little bit of feeding.
Yeah. She absolutely lets you. Like nothing bad happens if you take 2 from her. Yeah, no need to make a frenzy roll for you at that level of hunger. So yeah, and you were able to take what you need from her and not get shocked to hell and back. And she just kind of like, okay, that was nice, but yeah, I am officially off shift now, so you can show yourself back to your house. Okay. Whew. And she just sort of stumbles out.
These cuffs are fucking dope.
Yeah, those are.
He'll just put them back wherever she got them.
Yeah.
Actually, nah, he's gonna be a little bit nosy. He's just gonna poke around a little bit.
Okay.
Nothing, I guess, malicious, but he's really curious what other sorts of tech they've got. If they've got that cool little system for protecting blood dolls.
This seems to be a very purpose-built room. That seems to be like the level of tech. There's like you pull into the drawers. There's like medical. There's like sort of basic medical equipment here. Like just sort of things that in case things go crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. This seems to be a very purpose-built room for metered feeding, essentially.
You know, I gotta give it to him. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. I'm gonna head back to meet back with everybody else.
So what's Cadence up to while this is going down?
She's going to, do a little bit of exploring, get a feel for the area where exits are, most importantly. And once she is satisfied with that, she's going to send a text to Benji telling him he should probably get a hotel for the night and that they may want to look into finding another apartment for him.
Cool. Yeah, you poke around a little bit, and it seems like the part of the building that you're in, like you go around, there's a couple of rooms here, but essentially when you like feel like you're getting away from like the corner of the building that you are, you run into locked doors.
Okay.
Like you get the sensation that this section of the building is very much cordoned off from the rest of the facility.
Okay.
But
Alright.
you find an exit that is not locked, and you send that text off to Benji, and like he gets back to you. He's like, I am like way 2 steps ahead of you, sis. Also, that chick you wanted me to get in touch with got in touch with me, but we can talk about that tomorrow.
Ooh.
She's like, okay, good job. You are the best.
So yeah, Willow, you are.
I'm sitting with this guy still.
Yeah, you are.
Weekend at Bernie's. This is my new best friend.
It is. He's nice. He seems like a nice guy now. But yeah, no, you're in one of the little rooms. You have him there with you. Are you doing anything?
Oh, there's
particular?
no way I'm not putting blood in his mouth, Scott. I have a fucking problem. You know I'm like this.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and give me a rouse check.
I get a little hungry.
You get a little hungry. Yeah. You let a little bit too much out. How do you feed him? Describe it to me.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is a good idea. I don't want to kiss a corpse on screen.
Okay.
But we might do that. I don't know.
I mean,
I just want it to be creepy. We can fade to black. Just know I did it, and it was probably creepy.
Okay, I'm down with it. That is perfectly acceptable. Okay, yeah. So unless anyone wants to accomplish anything else before the sun rises,
No, just hang out with my new buddy.
Just
Indeed.
make sure every door in Cadence can make sure every door in wherever she stays is also locked.
yeah, you can lock it from the inside and be perfectly.
Just putting if there's a chair, she's putting a chair underneath the doorknob.
The accommodations are very nice. Very soft beds, no windows whatsoever, or places where any sunlight can get in. You see that there's like fire suppression systems, tastefully present, but obviously present.
She doesn't want to like it. She's like convincing her, just like, I don't want to like it here. It's a struggle.
That's funny.
But anyway, eventually you all begin to feel the tug of the sun on you, and it inevitably pulls you into the dreamless sleep of death. And the day goes on without you. People wake up, go to work, have their meals, all while you sleep silently, until eventually the sun sets once more, and the four of you, wake up in these nicely appointed private rooms. Willow, you're able to sort of turn your head and not see the eyes open because they never closed.
Mm-hmm.
But you see sort of the light behind them sort of flicker on
Yeah.
around the same time as you wake up.
Good evening. And I sort of like get up. I'm gonna leave him in here because I honestly don't want to wheel him around. And so I'm gonna tuck him in.
Nice.
Just imagine the anger
him-
seething inside this poor Banu Hakim.
Oh yeah, he is. This is.
Oh yeah, this poor
indignified.
fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking victim of circumstance he is.
I
Yeah, but you know
know.
what? She is hot.
It's true.
Could be
It's-
worse.
But anyway, yeah, you guys are able to sort of meet in this small but very nice little common area outside all of your rooms. Yeah. What is everyone doing? No one's come to greet you just yet.
So, are we interrogating these assholes or what?
Yeah, I want to probably touch base with our gentle host before we pop that particular can of worms open.
Okay,
If that's all right with you guys.
that's fine. Just tell me where I need to be and how much I need to stab people.
Well, that's going to really depend on their answers, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was 1,200 thread count Egyptian cotton sheets.
Oh God, yes, they are.
Oh God, it was so good.
This place is
This is
spoiling me.
nice. Yeah, it really is.
It's okay,
Which is the
I
whole
guess.
fucking point, obviously.
Yeah.
Whatever. Point being, we should also probably ask if they have like something we can like restrain these guys with, because
I mean, they're
something tells
safe
me
in
they're
the
not going to
room.
be very accommodating once we unstake them.
Oh yeah,
Oh, we're
well,
not-
we'll take care of it.
Okay.
So, after a little bit, you guys hear off in the distance one of the section doors unlock themselves, and the member of the ministry that you guys have spoken to, the owner of the gym. Did I name this guy?
I don't believe we got his name.
Yeah, I don't believe you got his name. I think you might have, but I have forgotten it because that's my big brain. But anyway, he's yeah, no, I'm oh yeah, that's right. He's Eli. His name was Eli. That's right. Eli comes into your little common area and says, "Hey guys."
Hello.
evening.
Hello.
She's like,
Fine.
"Just want to let you know I've checked in with Alex. He's doing fine. He's
That's good.
we've thrown a little help his way to make sure that he's going. No more fires in your domain, as far as we can tell.
Just the one.
Just the one, yeah. But you know, we've been keeping an eye on things for you. Anything that we can get you.
That depends on what we're gonna owe you for all of this.
You know, from what I understand, the boss is this is sort of a complimentary situation. Just because we heard that you guys were in trouble, and we heard that you guys had some victories. So you know, we want to show our solidarity with the movement.
That's
Uh,
true.
But I'm sure that you can have a talk with the boss if you guys want to get down to brass tacks about that sort of thing. But as far as creature comforts are concerned, what's ours is yours for the evening.
Thanks.
Oh, love that.
I have to say, I'm very impressed.
The ministry likes to run a tight ship.
And a safe one, which is really the part I'm more impressed by. Lots of kindred live in decadence and comfort, but very few demonstrate the sort of attention to detail that you all seem to.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for a while.
Hmm.
But anyway,
Shows.
yeah, so the boss is taking care of a few things. If you guys want to follow me, I can take you to, you know, where we do business.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Sure.
So yeah, he's like, follow me by all means. Come on, guys. It's a
Oh,
pleasure to have
sounds
you guys
good.
here. By the way, it's been too long before we've arranged this, but you know the boss has been very busy, out of the country. So we're glad to finally be able to host you guys here.
It is good to see you again.
Oh, you too as well. Huh, those fucking council meetings, huh?
Yeah, your advice really helped enlighten me onto some things.
Yeah. I think the boss might want to talk to you about that, but
That's funny because I want to talk to him about that. Isn't it just great how that sort of thing works out sometimes?
I think that there's just a lot of simpatico between
Yeah.
us. I think that we
Yeah.
can work really well together. But anyway, let's go. And he leads you into a very nice, not extravagant, but just a very nice, comfortable, very stylish kind of sitting room area. There's a couple of, very plush chairs, a love seat, a small couch, nice, like polished mahogany coffee table. Um,
I
there's
just want to sink into that love seat.
yeah,
I was gonna do that too. I'm still gonna do that.
Yeah, love seats are big, aren't they?
yeah. I mean, they are designed for
They're like
two
a
people.
double.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're 2-person couches.
Indeed.
Cadence is going to lean against the wall and just look at these two and just be like, "Oh my god,
Madison, I just
is
realized
embarrassing."
something.
What?
My beanbag chair is gone.
Rest in peace.
I can
I
get
mean,
you
there was a-
another beanbag.
But it won't be the same.
Bonded with that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
What
cried
kind
a lot of
bond
blood
was
into
that?
it.
Hey,
Um,
Willow, you should take a seat. Sorry,
Cadence.
I said the wrong thing. Hey, Cadence, you should take a seat.
I don't. Fine.
It's cool, Cadence. Just relax for once.
So
She'll
yeah,
like sit on the floor next to them.
I know we're all really stressed, but we did really well with the situation. all things
No, it's
considered.
fine. It's just big ass fancy places like this. It's not my thing.
Just focus on the squishy pillow under your ass.
it is very, very plush. Like it's like it's appointed like a very like old style, like you would expect it to be feather filled, but it's like nice dense memory foam inside.
Hell
The
yeah.
lighting is very dim in here. There is there's a somehow not cheesy artificial fire going on in the fireplace. Like it's like incredibly high tech, gives off just a little bit of warmth. Like there's obviously some sort of heating coil in there, and there's just sort of just dim, like dim old incandescent lights just sort of sparkled throughout the area.
So cozy.
Yeah. So after a couple of minutes of you guys getting yourself settled, one of the doors opens up, and a what appears to be a 16-year-old boy dressed in a very well tailored, very expensive looking suit jacket with silk pants and like a very very thin, expertly tailored like collarless button-up shirt. He has curly red hair, and he comes in the room and just sort of looks over all the three of you and says, "Welcome to my house. Welcome to the temple of the ministry, my friends." He goes to he puts out his hand, not to anyone specifically, but whoever wants to shake it first, he'll take it. It's a firm, but not one of those asshole domineering handshakes. And then he goes to you, Willow, and offers to take your hand, and he politely kisses
Love
it.
that. Mhm.
And then he just kind of nods his head at you, Cadence.
She nods back.
He says,
Respect.
The respect for personal boundaries is appreciated, though
And
not
he,
voiced.
yeah, he takes a seat in one of the comfy chairs, and says, "I'm Samuel. It's a pleasure to meet you."
It's probably important.
Sure that you're already aware of at least mine and Willow's names.
Oh yes, I'm aware of all you relative newcomers.
But it is nice to formally meet you. I am Madison Faircloth.
Good to meet you, Mr. Faircloth. Anyone else wish to give an unnecessary introduction?
Nah.
No, it's quite all right.
Good, I like it. So, I have to offer my congratulations. You've took a slap in the face and turned it into a beatdown. I love it.
Oh, anarchs.
Yeah. We've not always been as aligned with the movement as we are now. But
Mm-hmm.
the more I find, the more close we get to the Anarchs, to the Unbound, the more of a better fit that I think it is.
We definitely have a lot to offer each other.
I agree wholeheartedly. I absolutely also want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for assisting our dear sister Lynn those many months ago. She's doing much better now. We just came back from Cairo, the two of us.
I see.
Yeah, she's gone through a lot, but we're getting her on a good path, I think.
Certainly a very dreadful circumstance that we discovered her in.
She's acclimating from the travel. She's not used to it. Not as much as used to it as I am, but you'll be able to have a conversation with her later in the evening.
Excellent. I've been looking forward to that.
And he says, so I understand that in addition to the physical victory, you have some spoils.
That we do.
Very interesting. Anything we can help you with?
Well, I had intended to interrogate them myself, or I should say the three of us had intended to interrogate them, but if you have a specialist in that field, perhaps we should...
I would still rather be us.
Oh,
Absolutely.
no, we can be in the room, but
She's like, absolutely, I can accommodate. I do have a specialist, but if you wish to take care of it yourself, you're more than willing to take advantage. We have a facility for such things. We have something
Torture chamber?
appropriate. Willow, please, let's not be gauche.
Oh, interrogation chamber.
That's a lot better. Thank you.
Any student of psychology can tell you torture doesn't do shit anyway, so...
On mortals, you're right.
I don't know.
Mortals don't have a monster inside of them that has supernaturally irrational fears.
It's true. That's an interesting topic. One that I don't think we have the appropriate academic resources to delve into right now.
I have some tomes that you might want to review if it interests you.
I would be very interested. Let's focus on the short term, though, shall we?
Absolutely. So, like I said, you are more than willing to utilize our facilities to take care of that, and of course we'll house them. We won't be able to house them indefinitely, though. They are
not expecting that.
They are members of the Camarilla, as far as I understand, and there's only so long. We'll have to either come to a more permanent arrangement, or you'll have to take custody eventually. But if you wish to interrogate, that's fine.
My intention is to return them to their sect with properly constructed information for the prince about further behavior.
All three of them?
Possibly.
I still think that's a terrible idea.
That is for you all to determine. They are your prisoners. We're simply putting them up for the time being.
Right.
But as I'm sure we're all very busy, I hope you don't mind if I turn the conversation to a bit more of a business-like arrangement.
Okay, let's talk about Tran.
You want to talk about Tran?
I'm assuming that's what you were getting to, but feel free to surprise me.
We can talk about Tran. We can talk about a lot of things. That's kind of, let's put it this way. Services like I've offered to you, these things are easy to come by. But if we're going to start talking more substantially, I think we should set the table a bit more formally, if you don't mind me saying it as such. Because, I mean, what we're bordering on here is we're talking about real power, which is, of course, information.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I'd like to show you something. And he stands up, goes over to a cabinet. He pulls out a very ornate centerpiece, somewhere between pottery and jewelry. There's a very large, smooth dome of ruby in the center of this kind of ceramic and gold filigree piece of art that he sort of sets on the table between all of you. And he says, this is a very interesting artifact. I'm told that it has a spirit bound into it. Not something that we of the kindred race are very keen on dealing with from time to time, but I'm told that somehow someone got one in there, and that spirit is, it's a intellectual thing. It's keen. It can very uncannily assess value.
Oh.
Yes, the value of information, of secrets. It seems to be keyed into things that are important, facts that have weight, that can be wielded as tools and weapon.
Uh-huh.
Now I, of course, being a member of the ministry, have access to a great deal of information, of a great deal of secrets. And I make a habit of trading in such things. I have spoken to this device. I have told it a number of things that I would be willing to share with you. Now, with that loaded in, when it hears information of relatively equal value, it will indicate that it has heard such. It's as close to an objective standard for value of information as I've ever found. It's an incredibly useful device.
It does sound very useful.
Wow.
So like I said, let's make it a bit more formal. I'm willing to share some information that I know all of you would be very keen to know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be curious what you think is valuable and are willing to share.
Well, that's a very broad field. You have us at a bit of a disadvantage in terms of an immediate answer.
What specifically are you looking for? Is there anything in particular you're interested in?
I'm interested in a lot of things.
That is
I'm
the
interested
worst
in
non-answer.
I'm interested in the goings-on of the city. I'm interested in the movements of old and powerful things. I'm interested in particularly weighty, mortal, and mundane matters, things that might affect us. Now, what I have available, I'll give you the broad strokes. I definitely have information on our dear Baron. I have information on things that are happening and have happened in this city. I have information on the doings of the movements of clans. Very recent.
Mm-hmm.
So, he indicates the device. He says, what do you have?
Out of character, I feel like Willow doesn't have a lot of personal information to give. but I feel like maybe something of value would be like, we were like physically taken to a Sabbat, like, what was it? What would it be? It would not like a base. It was like a
S-bot.
weird communal haven. Yeah,
It was an S-bot, yeah.
yeah. I suppose maybe something like the location of that could be of value.
Didn't they blindfold us
Yeah,
for
they
that, though?
blindfold the fuck out of us.
They actually didn't. You know exactly
Oh.
where it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I feel like there were
probably
blindfolds
where it
involved
is,
at
though.
some point.
I
Not
think
on that occasion.
no, there was a separate occasion.
Okay.
And so I feel like because we don't have to say how we came across that information, that's good information.
Say what you say.
I say to I sort of lean over this piece of this artifact, and I whisper I say to it the intersection of that haven. I like the street name, the number, the sign on it, and then I just say Sabbat spot. I want to gauge if it's.
There is sort of a twinkling, light tinkling inside the ruby.
What does that mean?
It means that it is a valuable piece of information, but
not enough.
It's
not enough
valuable, but not enough by itself. And I'll let you know. I won't say that I already knew that, but I as good as already knew that. But it's still good. It's still good to get a confirmation.
What about the rest of you?
Madison, what do you think?
Trying to pick which thing to start with.
Yeah.
But I know you know, Cadence, more than a little bit about comings and goings of
others,
beings other than the kindred.
Sorta.
Anything would be valuable.
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't. I know that the werewolves are plotting something. I don't know what, but they got some sort of big plans brewing, and I haven't really had a chance to look into it much. I do know that they've got. I mean, this is probably old news, but they probably got something going on with the mages in the city. They seem like they're like 2 steps away from tearing each other's throats out, but that's just an outsider's opinion.
The ruby sparkles a little bit more. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm hopefully going to get a chance to investigate that avenue a little bit more in the coming nights, but
well, that would be certainly something I would be interested to know more about.
So, like, what? Can we do an IOU?
No.
I don't
imagine so.
Okay.
But we can cash in when we have that. There's no reason this has to be a one-off thing.
No reason at all. Anything else that you have on that avenue? Anything?
What's the name of the older woman that we met that was a mage, Scott?
Vivian.
Yeah, I give her full name that I saw at the university. That woman is a will worker of some ability.
Cadence just gives you a glare.
There are bright sparkles that start to shine in lights like that. Is interesting. You're getting close to satisfying a bit more.
Oh wow, we're still on the easy stuff.
Oh yes.
One of the Sabbat ate a fucking elder and is I don't know what was the guy's name? Carl. Yeah.
Which elder?
Carl the idiot is.
I think you said it was a Toreador, right?
I give the name that I believe that Southern Lord went by from my studies.
So the light within the ruby glows.
Oh,
it's very dim, but it begins to glow of its own accord. He's like, that is something I did not know, and that is very, very interesting.
Isn't it now?
Yeah.
So, That's certainly worth one of my juicier tidbits that I have on the table. What are you curious about?
I don't know about you two, but I want to know about these clan movements because I have a suspicion that I know what that pertains to.
I can certainly discuss that.
What do you two think?
I leave this up to you.
I
Like
want
you're the head guy. I am the muscle lady.
I want members of the cult. That's what I want. She sort of says under her breath.
Willow, if you trust my instincts on this, I think that we're actually asking the same question.
Okay.
All
I
right.
trust you.
Clan movements.
Last month in Chicago, the Camarilla made an arrangement with portions of Clan La Sombra. By my estimation, roughly half of that clan has joined the Ivory Tower.
La Sombra?
Yes. Some are coming back from abroad, fleeing the Gehenna War. Some who stayed behind in the Americas and Europes are simply defecting from whatever vestiges of the Sabbat remain there. It's not all of them. I'm told that the Camarilla has demanded that for every ancilla or younger member that they sacrifice one of their elders.
And they're
doing it.
They're doing it. They're that ready to ditch the Sabbat. Wow.
Yes. And combined with that information, because trust me, I know what it means when someone diablerizes a Methuselah. That means that our local situation is about to get very, very interesting, don't you think?
I unfortunately do also think that.
I don't think it's unfortunate at all. I think the Unbound have an opportunity.
Oh, that's also true. I just there's definitely a lot of bad fortune to go around in this situation.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's what I know about the greater movements of the great clans.
Okay. Yeah, that is important. Pisses me off, but it's important.
Honestly, do you want them?
They would belong with us before they would belong with anyone else.
That's a matter of opinion. They've always been, they've always been as domineering as your clan. But it's a surprise, to say the least.
It is.
But I can confirm that it is the case. Not all cities are accepting them, but many of them are.
Well, Willow, looks like my intuition was wrong on that one, but that's still very valuable information.
I have more to share, but...
I have more too.
Yeah.
And I sort of like look at the artifact again, and I say, in the city there is a cult worshipping a black stag, and we suspect members include Brandon Moss, Prince Adelia, and maybe Baron Tran.
There's sparkling in the jewel.
Not enough.
Like, those are interesting suspicions.
Yeah.
I'm aware of this cult, of course. I've been here. I've seen its movements.
Yeah.
Why do you suspect them?
The prince, I suspect, due to her sheriff believes it to be the case. Very dearly. He's concerned. He's scared.
The sparkles sort of pick up in intensity.
He suspects something. That's why we started looking into that. Brandon Moss, we think.
Is there a
An
reason?
Madison?
I can confirm without any doubt that Brandon Moss is a member of this organization, as he demonstrated to me a hidden signal that is specifically associated with their undertaking, under the mistaken assumption that I was of like mind.
And yet you knew it for what it was.
I'm a very learned person.
I see. And our dear Baron, what reason do you have to suspect him?
I suspect that the truce and his unwillingness to move against the Camarilla is because he has some sort of kinship with the prince.
Well, they're of the same clan.
Yeah, that too.
You know this.
I'm very close to 100% certain that Chitran is a Ventrue, because I remember seeing him when I was allowed out of my accounting. There was a great big to-do, and a lot of Ventrue came in from a lot of different places to come pay respects to the newest member of the family, or the newest member of a family.
The ruby starts to glow with
Yeah.
with an even greater intensity.
That's a good one.
He says, that is fascinating.
Isn't it?
Shall we continue down that vein then?
Yes.
Feel free to ask questions. There's a lot of things we've encountered, and you'll forgive us if we're a little shaken up after our encounter.
Oh, I
last
understand.
evening.
I understand. And if I have questions, I'll ask. But right now, you're owed a question or an answer.
Well, I'll go for it.
Well, do you want to? I definitely know things about our dear Baron.
Madison, do you want things on the Baron, or do you want the other members of this cult?
You should do your question.
That's what I want to know. I want to know. Can you confirm any of the other members?
Seneschal Lowen of Clan Ventrue,
Fucking course, Logan.
I believe. I have confirmed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Keeper of Elysium, Madame Lemont.
Madame
Lemont.
Lomois.
Goddamn Camarilla bastards are rotten from the fucking top down.
And
Those are the two that I can confirm.
how many? Madison, how many are there total?
I don't know the number.
You
I can
you
tell
know
you how
a
many-
number.
Yeah, I can tell you a distinct number that I have encountered,
He
but that
says,
doesn't mean that's all of them.
I have a suspicion. If you share that number, I can tell you what I know.
All right, Scott, remind me of the number.
I think it's 9, isn't it?
There were
That's what I thought too.
you encountered 8. You encountered 8 of them.
Plus me.
Plus, yeah.
Okay.
All right, 8 or 9.
I know 9 is a significant number amongst them.
Okay, that tracks. That explains. Okay, so we know about half. That's pretty good, actually. We have 4 for sure, 1 suspicion, and 1 wild card. All right. Well, this is obviously a rich vein, so why don't we dig down a little bit more? I'm going to recite basically the information I know about the Ventrue Southern Lord, who I suspect to be Lord Blackheart.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you've covered up you've uncovered a pretty great deal about that. Do you go into like your vision?
No.
Oh, you're
No,
not going to that.
That's the deep level. That's mine for
Okay.
now.
All right, noted. Yeah, the gem, when you sort of go into that, the gem definitely it glows more, but it's still at that sort of sparkling level of threshold. He says, That confirmed a lot of what I suspect. Or at least it gave a secondary source of information.
Trying to
Anything
think of
else?
other things. Cadence.
I'm thinking about it.
I sort of like wiggle my fingers at Cadence.
You do have a nice big fat chunk of information.
Yeah, okay. This is my rouse check to bring the claws out.
Oh my.
Oh, by the way, is that a level 1 power? The claws?
No, that's 2, I think.
Yeah, at least
Because
two.
I noticed
That's
while
two.
I was looking in the book earlier that we should all be rolling twice when we're activating level 1 powers and taking the better result.
There's,
Oh.
I think there's only one level 1 power that
Yeah.
that has a rouse check, and I think it's Thaumaturgy.
Well, all
Yeah,
right then.
it's 2.
Damn. You gotta get more blood potency.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
spend XP.
But yeah, no, that was actually a success. She's
Okay.
rolling well for hunger tonight.
So you
Color me
extend the
surprised.
claws.
Oh yeah, she brings them right out.
Just doing that should be enough to get a response.
He leans forward and may I examine those?
Oh, they always want to touch them.
Ugh, she shoves her hand out.
Madison is actually going to hold his hand out between her and him. Is your retainer here going to recognize the value of that act?
It will. It's very canny.
Good.
And he takes your hand sort of gingerly. I'm gonna roll some dice.
Ooh.
This close away to a messy critical.
Oh no.
But not quite. He sort of examines them, and his eyes kind of go wide, and the ruby glows, and it gets brighter, but there's something that sort of shimmers inside of it, and there's a tracery that gets illuminated on the table around it. It looks like a language, but nothing you've ever recognized before. And he says, "Those are fascinating."
Yeah, you're telling me.
And according to my friend here, they indicate things that our kind are not very commonly connected to.
Like? And that is not one of the. Wait, before you answer that, do I have to tell you anything else?
He's not a genie. It's cool.
He's like, he indicates a thing. He says, there is more than enough gained from this bit of insight for me to share what I know and entitle you to an additional piece.
Okay, I didn't want to get cheated out of my question.
By all means. My friend says that, and I know that this won't be immediately understandable, so I will explain to the best of my knowledge, that you, by dint of having these claws, have a name. A name that spirits recognize. He says you are Ironclaw.
That's okay.
Oh, that's dope as fuck.
Also, not very creative, but what do I know?
They're not... Spirits don't get too terribly abstract, and the ones that do, you never want to encounter.
I suppose that's fair.
But I'm told that this means you have some degree of recognition in that world. You are not, by a dint of having a name, you have a chance, at least, to not be seen as an utter abomination, as the rest of us are.
Sick.
Yeah.
Alright.
If you find yourself harassed by lupines, a card you might be able to pull.
Sure.
But anyway, yes, absolutely. You have satisfied the limits of what I have what I have put before my friend here. So what do you want to know as your final bit of information? We've been circling around the dear Baron.
Well,
And
I
that is
think it's
certainly
equitable, Cadence, if there's something you want to ask.
I mean, what I want to know is what this guy has on us, but if there's something else,
This guy being the Baron?
No, this guy being this guy sitting in front of us.
You should just make the assumption he knows everything.
Yeah, well, there are some things I have a very vested interest in people not knowing, so if people know them, it's good for me to know that they know.
I assume that they know. Yeah, that's fair.
So.
I mean,
he says,
I'm not sure that's a question on the scale that he's offering.
Maybe you could offer something.
I don't know much about your personal business, Cadence. I'll tell you that.
Okay, good. Good.
All right. Anything else, or should we go for the Baron?
Okay, whatever. Actually, first she wants to check her text to see if her sire ever got back to her on that.
Yeah, your sire hasn't gotten back to you on that.
It was worth a shot. She goes, so is that Fuckatran actually part of the Camarilla?
I don't know that, but here's what I do know. I know he's attempted to blood bond me.
Mm-hmm.
I know he has several members of the movement bound to him.
Mm-hmm.
I know he is uncannily skilled at the art of the manipulation of memories. I know that he, through combination of vitae and the art of domination, has most of the Anarch leadership under his hand, one way or another. I have means of protecting myself against such things. He believes me to be tied around his finger.
Okay.
But I know that he employs such tactics.
Okay, here's a thought, and sorry, this just popped into my head. Does he or anyone else, but probably him, have they ever messed with the Second Inquisition at all?
I'm
not against it, but
attempted to manipulate it?
Yeah, that.
Here's what I do know. People who buck the agenda that the leadership of the Unbound in this city are unified behind, they get caught by the hunters fairly regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am told this happens in the Camarilla as well.
Yeah, because I heard that it was rare for Anox to get caught by him in this city, and I just thought that's because we're fucking awesome, but in hindsight,
I encountered them yesterday.
Yeah.
The Camarilla, I believe, is playing a dangerous game with them.
Like fucking always.
Indeed.
Think they're above consequences for their actions.
Indeed. And as such, with all of this on the table, I have
Let's
a
get
bit
to
of
the
a
meaty stuff.
yes, I have a bit of a proposal that I'd like to discuss. But before we get that, we're going to take our break.
Next time on.
Yeah.
All right, we will be back in a bit. Thank you for watching, and see you back real soon. All right, welcome back to Simulacra Studios presents Vampire the Masquerade: Burn It Down. We are currently in the abode of the high priest of the ministry here in Atlanta, and he has just suggested that they begin to discuss more. They've just traded a bunch of information, and he suggests that they move on to discussing more political matters. And he says, let me explain something about recent events before we get into the meat of it. I don't have to tell any of you that we are in the midst of a time of great change and upheaval for the kindred. Clans are moving. Sects are splitting and reshaping themselves. Roughly a year ago, the elders of my clan, much like the Banu Hakim and more recently the La Sombra, petitioned to join the Ivory Tower. Not how I would do it, but it is the elders' decision. There was a meeting planned. Hotel somewhere in the Middle East. And as the meeting began, the hotel exploded. Many of our elders perished. Many Camarilla elders perished. But that soured the Ivory Tower on our little proposal. And as such, the ministry, not entirely, has begun to gravitate towards the Unbound, towards the Anarch movement. That's what's happening on a big level. In the city, we've been here. We've been doing our best to be upstanding members of the movement. But we've been kept at arm's length. That being said, I think we can both agree that the current political situation
Is bullshit.
What she said.
Yes. There needs to be changes. We're on board with changes. We're on board with things being more properly anarch. And we are more than willing to assist in that process. But when everything settles, the ministry wants a seat at the table. We want to not be at arm's length. We want to be recognized for our actions, for what we've done and will do for the movement.
So if the power structure shifts radically, you want us to put in to vouch for you. That's what you want.
Yes. In broad strokes, yes. I mean, you're not the only anarchs that we've discussed this with.
Okay.
Who else have you discussed it with?
And I'm not at liberty to say.
Well, it seems like if we're going to make this work, then we should all know who our friends are.
Step by step.
Okay.
I'm putting this to you because I recognize that you are kindred capable of achieving great things.
Mm-hmm.
No Google. No Google. I did not ask
to
for
my
a
phone
search.
all the time too, man. Don't worry about it.
I did not ask to search anything, Google.
Shut the fuck up, Siri.
Shut the fuck up, Google. But yeah, she says...
That was fully in character.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
bad.
Yeah, he's like, I don't understand these things. I'm a little freaked out that they listen to me.
Press the X on the upper right.
Thank you.
Of course. So, I would say, your request is extremely reasonable. If the members of the ministry in this city are formally aligned with the Anarch movement, there's no reason they shouldn't have representation in Anarch governance. In fact, I think it's an insult to the ideals of the movement if you all are formal members and aren't being represented.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have representation, the same kind of representation as everyone else. But I think given what we've discussed, I don't think the current power structure is legitimate.
Right. So, given all other things held constant, the members of the ministry remaining formally affiliated with the Anarch movement in the city of Atlanta, I would be personally incensed if any new power structure, regardless of what that looks like, try to deny you your fair representation in the acts of governance.
That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I do think Cadence has an excellent point in that you having spoken with others means you have a unique insight into their positions, which can act as a springboard for us forming coalitions of like-minded and unbonded kindred.
And given given a bit more progress towards our mutual goals, understand I'm only hesitant is because the ministry values discretion in its dealings with others. We don't go often spilling our client list, as it were.
And that's reasonable. I'm not asking you.
And our relationships are not purely, they tend to not be purely political.
I'm not asking you to tell me who you've spoken with on the matter directly. I'm asking you to tell me, and if we need to exchange information for this, I understand, which coterie leaders in the movement you believe are and are not ensnared in Baron Tran's little trap. Now, I think this is a topic of mutual benefit for you to give us that specific piece of information.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. The coterie members who I believe are not ensnared
you
are
almost
yourself,
said the right word.
Yourself and myself.
That's it, really?
I believe he has them all.
Son of a bitch.
Yikes.
And any individual who defies their coterie leaders, and thus defies Baron Tran, in short order gets caught by the Second Inquisition.
Is that what happened to Sister Lynn?
Absolutely not. I'm not going to discuss at length family business.
I see.
But I will say that her disagreements with me were with me.
Okay.
And
so
they were spiritual in nature.
Okay. Just seeing if that entire thing was due to...
Unrelated.
All right. That's actually...
Now I mourn for the loss of her compatriots. They were not of the ministry either by blood or by faith. But what happened to them was not right.
They were still fellow anarchs. They were
They
still
were
done wrong.
But
they'll have their justice.
We have, as I said, Lynn and I have come to an accord. We still have our disagreements, but she understands that her place is with her family now. And as I said, you're more than welcome to speak with her. My time that I have available is running short, though.
All right. Well, let's get back on track then.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be very direct here. There are only two expedient ways to break a blood bond on that number of people that I'm aware of. One of them involves a whole lot of violence done very quickly.
Indeed.
And the other one involves a sort of faith that is a bit outside of your normal purview, as I understand it.
Really?
Now, I'll be honest, I actually don't know that much about the faith of the ministry, so I may be mistaken.
The faith of the ministry has many secrets, many mysteries, but I will say that it has become broader in recent nights.
Well, as a scholar of Anarch law, I'm not ashamed to say that I believe Anarch law permits the undertaking of the Valdery by members of the movement, if you're familiar with that right. It is an Anarch right by birthright, and according to all precedents that I've studied as a student of Anarch law, there's no reason why Anarchs in good standing should not be allowed to undertake it.
So while you've been talking to him, he's been very natural. Like, he breathes, he blinks, he makes this sort of unconscious movements that are indicative of someone skilled in the lowercase m Masquerade. From the moment you said the word Valdery, he hasn't moved, he hasn't blinked, he has just been looking at you.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to know your theological and legal perspective on that topic, because that's the second option.
There's much we don't know about the Valdery, or any of the Sabbat Rite. They jealously guard those secrets.
That they do.
But I understand that it did not originate with them
It
per
originated
se.
with us.
It's a matter of academic debate. It originated with the Anarch Revolt, but it moved with them. Regardless, I don't know enough about it to know if it's compatible with the faith of the ministry.
Unfortunately, since you're not affected,
Indeed.
I don't have a thorough understanding of it, but as I'm sure one of your connection and level of information knows, Alex, who is not with us this evening,
It's a defector.
is a defector.
I had
The
heard such.
The information we have about that rite is limited, as he was not fully trained in the matter, but he knew enough to tell us that that ritual can shatter the blood bond, and that matches all the historical accounts.
Yeah.
As I said, I don't know enough about it, but it certainly seems to be a very powerful tool, one that should not be cast aside out of hand.
Agreed. So
But if
those are
there-
the two options.
It says, I don't think that we would benefit by a martial insurrection
I agree. A civil war is no good
mounted
for
within the
anybody.
next few weeks or so. We
Mm-hmm.
would need to build up to such a thing.
Right, but the problem is that where are we going to get traction if the leaders of every coterie
Are compromised.
are compromised?
That is a very good question, and one that I think we'll have to explore at a later night as my time and my responsibilities are encroaching.
Well,
But I think that we've had a very productive conversation, and I think that there's much for us to talk about and do.
it's
If
been a
you,
pleasure, really.
I says, I would like to speak with Alex at some later date regarding this Valdery and other matters, of course. If it's viable and it does not violate certain core tenets of our faith, then perhaps we can use it to our advantage.
Excellent.
But I thank you for your time. You are, of course, welcome to enjoy the facilities. Sister Lynn is, I believe, she should be ready to speak with any of you, if you so desire.
About that interrogator.
Yes, absolutely. Do you wish his services?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Well, then I can have your friends relocated to the room we have for such things. And
Obviously, we want to be present.
oh, I was under the assumption that you would be taking the lead regarding this and
Yes,
simply having our friend
Just like-
as a consultant.
that was my vision as well.
It's like we can have them moved, and they will be at your disposal for whenever you wish.
I think that sounds
But he
like a great
stands
idea.
and he extends his hand to you, Madison, and shakes it firmly.
Even more firmly, still not asshole, but like noticeably more firm.
Hmm. And he turns to Willow, takes your hand, kisses it, and just sort of gives you a cheeky salute, Cadence, and says, "Well, it was a pleasure meeting all of you, and I think we will have a good amount of cooperation in the future. I bid you all a very good evening."
Have a
you.
good night.
And he says, "Eli can show you wherever you want to go, whoever you wish to speak to."
Very well. Thank you.
So while this conversation has gone off, I'm assuming my assumption is that everyone looks at their phones pretty quickly.
I certainly do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Willow, you don't have anything on yours coming up just yet. Cadence, you have a message from Benji.
Okay.
He basically says he gives you an address where he says that he's relocated to for the time being.
Okay.
And he said, if you want to talk to that chick, give me a call.
Okay. All right. She's going to pocket that for now, and as they're exiting the room, she pulls on Madison's sleeve.
But Madison, when you check your phone, you have a message that again has that coded prefix to it, and it basically gives you a intersection and a time that is tomorrow night, and that's what you get.
Send a thumbs up emoji.
So yeah, you guys can you can definitely head back to that sort of common area where you were hanging out.
What's up,
What do you
Cadence?
Okay, yeah, so she's going to shuffle him sort of like away from Willow for a second.
That's cool. I'm gonna go visit my friend Mikael again.
She's going to say quietly, in case there are things listening or whatnot. She's like, listen, I get it, exchange of information and whatnot and value and whatever, but if and I say this with all of the love possible in this withered little
Goblin
undead
heart.
heart of mine, if you ever volunteer information that could lead back to someone in my family again, I will fucking end you. Okay?
Shit.
How many degrees separation are we talking here?
Okay, so considering that Vivian knows personally and has a personal, important, vested interest in someone I also have a very important, vested interest in, that's cutting it real close. Real close.
Is she a family member, though? I must have misunderstood.
Reagan is my foster sister, okay?
I see. Wow. I wasn't exactly aware of that, but I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Okay.
We didn't give them anything that gives them any reason to follow the chain to her.
Okay. All right,
But-
that's why I've been wanted to keep these, and she holds up her claws under wraps.
Well, after what went down at Victoria Ash's party,
Well,
I think
yeah,
there's
I
only
know
so
that,
much-
but I was trying. An effort was made.
I understand.
But yeah, just so we're clear.
Yep.
Thanks.
I understand.
And she pats him on the back and says, "Good talk." Walks
Mhm.
away.
Once she turns around, he's like, like as soon as she's not looking.
Did she scare him?
Oh, for fucking yeah! Like, duh.
Nice. Nice.
He's just got good composure.
Yeah, you were composed when you went into my house. God, you could be composed through anything.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting blood in that guy's throat again.
Oh Jesus!
That's two
Oh,
now.
okay, it's gross. It's real
when
gross.
I come in, I'm just like, "Good afternoon, I'm back." And
Oh,
yeah.
that reminds me. I need everyone to make a rouse check for me. Willow, you make two.
Wow,
I'm good.
still nothing.
Good times. You've got the beast under control.
I know, it's weird. I don't like it.
Threatening Madison.
I'm fine.
Made it feel good.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you head back into your room and do what you do with him, and oh boy, he is still staked and cannot do anything about it.
Man, that'll make the
I know.
interrogation a lot easier.
I know.
So yeah, so what's everybody doing? How's everyone proceeding?
Madison's gonna. This is time to reconnect with everything that he
Mhm.
had to sever from when we all scattered. So the Night Lord Brigade and any other, like the East Street Boys.
Okay,
and
so you're sending out messages to them.
just basically reestablishing contact and getting things back.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, you get in contact with the Duskborn and the East Street Boys, and you find out that they scattered. They went to like secondary bolt holes. The East Street Boys helped the Duskborn like get into places where they could sleep for the night, and they've been they've been sending basically scouts back into the domain, and as of yet, none of them have run into any trouble.
How pissed is Nikki on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh.
When you broach the subject with Trayvon, he says that he needs to talk to you about that somewhere private.
Ooh.
Oh.
He's like, if you're busy, you're busy, but we need to have a talk about that.
I could make time tonight.
Or you could send Cadence while you're doing the interrogation.
It's not
I
a bad
eventually do
idea.
come out of the room.
Actually, I'm going to put this to the whole coterie because this is something we should all know about. He just basically shows the texts. Yeah, so Trayvon has something pretty important to say regarding Nikki, and I'm wondering if that means Trayvon's gotten pulled in, or if that means Trayvon is recognizing the existence of the spider's web and wants to get
Well,
Nikki out.
I mean, if we're being completely honest here, and she picks up her phone, she looks at Benji's text. She's like, I got something else I want to take care of tonight. So if you want me to stop by and have a word with him, I can. I mean, unless you want me to fucking like put my claws through the guy's toenails, I'm probably not going to be much for interrogation.
Yeah, it's
So-
probably yeah.
I'm going to send
I'd rather
Trayvon,
you smooth
me
things over.
specifically, or one of us.
It's just one of you.
Then Cadence will meet you at so-and-so location inside of Cabbagetown territory, da-da-da-da.
Thumbs up emoji.
Whatever Cadence tells me to send.
Yeah. All right. So are you going to be heading out, Cadence? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you going to first?
She's going to talk to Trayvon first.
Okay.
And she's going to send a text to her brother saying she'll meet him at that new address and they can.
Cool.
Stop.
All right. So we'll go with you for a little bit. You meet up with Trayvon near the Krog Street Market. There's kind of a little there's a very small dance club near there that you guys hook up at. And like you manage to get your way into like kind of a private corner. There's still some loud music going on, so you guys kind of have to get a little close to talk.
It just means other people won't hear him.
Yeah. And it's pretty easy to make that happen. And he says, "How you doing, Cadence? Good?"
I mean, my haven's fucking ashes, so I'm pretty pissed. But aside from that, I'm
Yeah.
alive.
No,
So
I get you. That's a
and
bunch of
sorry
bullshit.
about what went down last night. That was balls.
I mean, there was some shit that went down last night, but we also got some fucking cam asses in a can, so I'm
Yeah,
real happy
no.
about that. But
Yeah, no, trust me, we're taking good care of those assholes.
something is fucking wrong with Nikki.
Ooh.
Okay, like how
I don't-
wrong?
I don't know. He is pissed. Like, he's pissed and he's acting weird, and all the shit that we normally do to calm him down, because he doesn't get pissed that often. He's got the Bruja blood pretty tightly controlled. But whatever the fuck Salvador said to him, I don't know.
Okay,
Fuck.
all right.
Do you
So-
know any like what? So Salvador was there to talk to you guys. What the fuck?
So full disclosure, there is a lot of weird shit going down in this city, and we're looking into a lot of angles, like a lot of angles. Like I don't want to know how many pushpins are in Madison's conspiracy theory court, okay? But
Okay.
so here's advice, okay? And trust me on this. Whatever he's raging at, let him rage and let him think that you guys, or at least you, what do the other guys think?
They're staying away from him.
Okay.
I mean, we don't hang out a lot
Okay.
normally, but no one wants to be around him when he's like this.
Fair enough.
And it's
if he interacts with any of you, just act like you've got his back. Okay?
okay. I mean, we do.
That's obviously. But, I just... Madison could probably explain it better than I could, but for your own safety, just don't rock the boat right now.
All right, I can do that.
We think something is influencing people's minds, and we're not sure to the extent of it yet. Like I said,
Okay.
weird shit's going down in this city.
Yeah, it tends to, but all right, that's good to know.
I mean,
Are you guys on this? Like,
Oh no, we are on this, but I think after Madison gets done with what he's doing tonight, we can give you a better report of it.
all right,
but-
all right. We just need to know. We need to know that we weren't seeing nothing.
No, something weird's going on, and we're doing our best to try to find a way to fix it.
Shit. All right. Well, you keep us informed. I don't know how long this is gonna last with him, but
Mhm.
it's kind of fucking terrifying, actually.
Yeah. And if anything, if you notice anything out of the ordinary, not with him, just in general, things going on, people being where they're not normally supposed to be, anything that makes you feel jumpy, you let us know. And keep safe.
Yeah. I mean, Cleveland's been around.
Okay, what's he doing?
I mean, he comes by every now and then. It's not abnormal, but he showed up pretty quick.
Okay.
Fucking Cleveland.
No, that
Fucking
dude's a
Cleveland.
I'd say he's a tool, but tools are useful. So
I mean, he's an all right guy, but
Favorite
he
activity.
wiretapped
bullying
my
Cleveland.
haven. Okay, I got a little bit of a grudge.
I mean, okay, fair enough.
But can I? What we're gonna say? What I'm gonna say must that it's between you and me. Okay.
Okay,
Bros.
yeah.
Okay. All right. We think whatever's going on, like I said, with the mind thing, we are pretty damn certain that somehow the Baron is tied up in it.
That's
don't
a
know.
serious fucking accusation.
It's not.
Mhm.
Don't call it an accusation right now. Call it something weird is going down, and it may or may not be affecting him too.
Okay, all right.
It's symptomatic, not cause.
Okay,
Symptomatic.
all right. That's easier to swallow.
Yeah, symptomatic. So that's why I'm saying be careful, because when there's power to be had, people like to mess with the people in power so they can get it for themselves. And it's the little guys like you and me that get stepped on.
Yeah, no, don't you fucking tell me. All right, well we got his back. We'll hold out. I mean,
Yeah, just
this is some fucked up shit, Cadence.
I know, and just if you get, I'll have Madison type up one of his fucking Spock notes about the whole thing to get to you because he understands it better than I do.
Sure, yeah, that will help. No, I mean, hey, if you think it, yeah, sure. I mean, I like Madison, but he's kind of a fucking nerd.
No, he's a major nerd. He's my nerd, but he's a major nerd.
Shit.
He knows it,
It's so true.
but sometimes that's just what you need.
All right, I gotta get back to the boss. He had me do a fucking kite string.
Okay.
It's this thing where you can check in on somebody on their phone.
Okay. All right.
So I gotta get back. He's real. He's just
Yeah, no, just whatever you need to do to keep him sedated, do it.
yeah. We'll make sure he knows we got our back.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta get going. Thanks for the meeting. Let's get
No
out of here.
problem.
All right. So back at the temple. Willow and Madison, what are you two doing?
So, do you want to just get started? Okay, well, which one do you want to start on?
So, I
Because
don't
we
see
could-
any reason we don't just go straight for the top, personally. The two down at the bottom, they didn't tell us shit earlier. I doubt they know anything, but this guy is kind of a big deal.
I mean, but under torture. And then we can confirm what
would-
the other one says.
Really like it if we didn't fucking torture these guys, honestly.
Why?
Because it doesn't fucking work.
I mean, this guy is supposedly an expert torturer.
Sure, so it'll hurt real bad. Listen, we can reason with this guy. I'm sure of it. I think you underestimate how reasonable people can be under the right circumstances.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. No, I think torture is probably the way to go. But if you think you can reason, want to do
Listen.
half and half?
Well, we'll start with my way.
Okay.
Because once we start torturing, you can't unpush that button.
We're gonna kill them afterwards, right? Yes, Madison. We can't send them back.
We'll have to have a really long discussion about it. There are some arguments for sparing their lives. And there are a lot of arguments for killing them.
I'd say that there's probably more arguments for killing them.
Well, we can sit down and discuss it and figure out what those arguments are, and we can weigh them. But there are certain long-term repercussions for killing somebody who's that high profile, especially in regards to prestation. That's what I'm worried about, Willow.
Okay.
So we're going to have to really do the legwork on this one before we decide one way or the other. Shall we go visit our guest?
Yeah.
So all of them have been relocated. Per your instructions, they can all be in one room. They can, be split up however you want them to be split up. How would you have them arranged?
The two younger ones together than the older one.
Okay. You meet a smartly dressed, but very sort of dressed in clothing that can be easily handle stains. Seems to be the matter there, but nicely tailored young woman. She says, "I am at your disposal to consult. Who are we speaking with first?"
We're going to be speaking to this very potent Banu Hakim.
I see.
So we just need to be sure when we unstake him, he doesn't kill all of us.
He says, I understand that he might be wanting for vitae. Do we want him hungry or sated when he wakes up?
Hungry.
What do you think, Madison?
Definitely hungry, because that's also going to impact his ability to murder all of us if he happens to escape somehow.
Yeah.
Very well. We have him comfortably secured in one of our more intimate chambers. So she leads you into, she opens a door and leads you into...
Before we go in, actually, let me just give you the down low on who this guy is.
Oh, by all means.
And I'm just going to give her the info dump that I rolled for last game.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Not withholding anything, because he's high profile enough that her boss could fucking figure out who this guy is, no problem.
Sure.
If I know him.
I need to look something up real quick, either in this book or the Camarilla book.
But yeah, he's kind of a big deal and kind of a linchpin in some major Camarilla politics right now. So
well,
there's a lot of stuff we could get out of this, and there's a lot of stuff we need to be careful not to.
It's not
maybe
so often that we get a VIP here.
Yeah. So let's give him the velvet glove treatment, shall we?
At your discretion. Give me one moment. I need to look something up.
Willow, you look so upset, but there's a saying about the velvet glove, and you know what's under the velvet glove, right? Huh?
No. What's
It's
under the velvet?
The Iron Fist. Have you never heard that?
No, I've actually never heard that.
Yeah, the Iron Fist works best when clad in a velvet glove. That's maybe it's a Ventrue thing,
It might be.
but it works.
I spent a long time around Brew Hall. We don't do this. You know?
That's true. That is true.
It's just a little different.
Well, we'll make it work.
Pardon me, guys.
What are you looking up?
Some names.
Oh, that's very relevant.
Let me get my note cards ready.
Oh boy. All right.
Someone's
There
gonna
we
be
go.
taking notes because Lord knows it's not me.
So while she's
Got
preparing the chamber, Willow, do you want to consider exactly what information we want to target ahead of time?
We want to know who sent him, definitely. What exactly it was that we, as what our coterie in particular, did to have this brought down on us and not anyone else, is what I'd like to know. How he knew Salvador Garcia was in town. Well, then again, I mean, he just fucking rides in on his bike, so.
Yeah, they very well might not have known Salvador Garcia was in town. That might be why we're,
Okay.
still here.
Yeah. That's most important.
All right, and we'll play the rest by ear.
All right.
Is
So
there
she-
anyone-
We're gonna good cop, bad cop this, Willow. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. She perks up just a little bit.
Just
Okay.
remember, once you escalate to a certain point, there's no going back down. So
Oh, yeah, no. Okay.
pace yourself, okay?
All right, no problem.
So she leads you in before you lead you in, the young woman, her ears sort of prick up and say, just for my edification, good cop, bad cop, who's taking which role?
Madison's the good cop.
I'm gonna set the pace, and then
Okay, very well.
if I step back, then Willow, you step forward, and the reins are yours. Does that sound fair?
Yeah. Hey, do you guys have like a machete I can borrow?
She indicates a rack of
Rack of bladed implements.
Indeed. All right. So yeah, she opens the door. She leads you into kind of like it's very much laid out, size and fittings worth, kind of like a janitor's closet. Very clean. Not much in the room. There's a chair that is bolted to the floor and sort of like set into concrete. It is again, it has kind of a medical look to it. Heavy restraints. And Mikhail has been put in the chair, strapped down. They have basically cut his shirt away, so that he's bare chested, but he has sort of his still sort of tattered up pants on, and the stake is in his heart, and he's just still there, rigid, eyes looking forward.
So he's been relieved of any excess vitae.
She says, yes, he didn't have much in him when we checked, actually.
Willow looks at her phone while she says that.
For the sake of out-of-play drama, that makes sense. It was a very pitched battle, and he hasn't had an opportunity to feed.
He says, yes, so, I can remove this if you wish to.
I just want to explain. I want to give our guest here a little context to what's going to go
At your
on.
direction.
What was this guy's family name again?
Elakim?
Bin Hakim.
Bin Hakim?
Yeah.
Mr. Bin Hakim, I hope you've had some time to discuss well, not discuss, maybe internally, to contemplate the words that I shared with you on our ride over here. And I want to underline again that this is really not personal for me. Not yet. I understand that you had a task given to you. I understand that you have certain duties as part of a member of your sect. And even an anarch like myself has heard of your significance in the sect, which means it must have been quite a weighty thing indeed for you to be personally dispatched to do something against us in this way. But I want to assure you that if at all possible, my goal is that at the end of all of this, you and your brothers, child, or whatever they may be to you, my personal goal is to see that all three of you are able to return to your havens, your coteries, your sires, and your childer when this is all said and done. But I have a responsibility, just as you do, to my people, to my coterie, to my movement, to make sure that any information you have is shared in full detail. So if we can find some common ground, this whole thing might be a lot more pleasant than it otherwise would have to be. And then he'll signal for them to pull the stake out.
Okay. She essentially gets behind him.
Yeah.
And puts a hand on the stake and wrenches it out, and then she is at the other side of the room in an instant.
She's smart.
And I need to roll some dice.
I've got all my defensives up, if that's not obvious.
Noted. So
He's going to spit acid on me. I feel it.
within moments of the stake being removed from his heart, he just starts to scream and writhe and just rock in and out of the chair. Now I definitely need to make some rolls, some other rolls. And
Does this look like frenzy?
his face is just a mask of bestial rage.
Oh. Good
I'm
cop
wondering
and
how
bad cop
how
don't
fast
work.
you guys are going to
Yeah.
regret having him be hungry.
I mean, it was like a 50-50, right? Like there's ups and downs on both. I'm sure we can feed him some blood of some sort. Maybe someone will volunteer heroically to offer some of their vitae to this hungry vampire. Since,
So yeah,
you
he just
Love that delivery.
he seems to strain against the chair, against the restraints. He's just thrashing like a wild animal. And,
I'm actually going to look away. Like, politely, I put a hand up and I just don't look at him.
okay. And
I love this. Yeah.
he does not seem to be able to break out of the chair in any way. There, you hear sort of the straining of metal here and there, but he seems to be firmly secured in this chair. And this goes on for a good 10 minutes.
That's a long frenzy.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, he is pissed the fuck off.
And eventually, very suddenly, he just seems to just lose it. Like he loses the vigor, and is just sort of still for a moment, and then his head jerks up, and he just is scanning the room with his head and his eyes. And his eyes are in. You know that the look of like high level situational awareness. But more often than not, his eyes lock onto Willow. And he looks for a little bit and then pulls his eyes away and seems to be silent and trying to be utterly aware of everything that's happening.
Welcome back. I hope that you will consider undertaking this cordially with me. I don't know if you actually heard anything I said or if the frenzy had already taken you.
I heard what you said. If we are to be cordial about this, then I need to assuage my beast.
Someone bring me a cup or something.
The thirst of the beast?
Yes. And he says, I require much. I wouldn't ask that of you, ma'am.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. I just lean back in my chair like, okay. And I look at the interrogator that we have. Can we have someone brought in?
He says,
A bag will be fine.
she kind of looks to you and says, our information on this one is that he's quite old.
I'm gonna wait for him to volunteer that information.
He sort of says, I require fresh.
Oh.
All right.
She
Well,
says, we can
got
provide.
cows?
Yeah, we can provide.
Just be sure not to kill them, please.
All right, the cuffs it is. Give us a few moments.
I look at him when I say that. Hopefully
He says, he doesn't give any audible response to that. So, a couple minutes go by. They sort of wheel in a device that's familiar to you, Madison. This seems to be a more portable version of it. They plug it into a like sort of one of like a washer dryer plug in the wall, and fit him with cuffs.
Madison taps Willow on the shoulders like, this thing is so fucking cool.
And they a pair of fit-looking a man and a woman come in, and they approach they basically line up, and sort of extend their wrist to the young woman, who bites it, and then they hold it over Mikhail's mouth, and he tries to latch on, but they don't let him.
Mm-hmm.
And they attach the heart monitors to them, and the cuffs and everything. And after a little bit, one of them gets a little woozy, and the one woman takes them and sits them down and licks the wound close, and the process is repeated.
Mm-hmm.
And 20 minutes later, they disconnect everything, and usher the young woman sort of has someone come in and usher everybody out and wheel the equipment out. And he says,
Right.
Thank you for that. That is more hospitable than I was expecting.
Well, like I said,
The beast is not a cordial companion.
certainly not. So then, let's cut right to it. Why?
He says, you say this is not personal. Neither was our business last night. We were not there for you.
Who were you there for?
The anarch-criminal Garcia.
So, why did you burn down my haven?
I was given information that he would likely be there.
I see. And a little collateral damage was no big deal?
We were given our orders from one who you do not counteract or contradict.
It's reasonable. So this is from an Archon, a Justicar?
You ask a lot.
I do. I happen to have a bit of leverage in this situation, you understand.
I understand.
Don't tell me which one. Just give me an idea. What level are we talking
Bullshit.
about?
No,
here?
tell us which fucking one.
Willow, please
Good
roll.
cop, bad cop.
Yeah, please roll charisma intimidation for me.
Good cop, bond cop.
I do believe you get bonuses
see
for
how
having
hungry.
blood.
Oh, she has to get bonuses for having a 2-step blood bond on the sucker.
Let me double check them rules. 233.
I'm happy I get to be the bad cop. I've always wanted to be the bad cop.
Thank you. I'm going to bring Mary lunch.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, what's up? What do I get?
That it affects my roll.
Oh, I see.
Gotcha.
It's like a resisting sort of thing. All right.
Are you going to hang out with her for a while?
Yeah.
You're going to hang out with her for a while?
Well, she's on lunch, yeah.
Okay.
So I got one success. It was on a hunker dice, and I got no success on anything else.
That's fine. He kind of looks into your eyes, and he says, "Even for one so beautiful as you, I must be loyal to my superiors."
So then her request for a name, we can let that slide, but you can at least give me an idea of the level that this came from.
And what if I do?
We'll go quite a while towards satisfying the expectations that we hold to achieve the outcome that I am hoping for.
Very well. Let me tell you this, whelp. My orders came from a Justicar. And that should impress upon you that you have stuck your foot into matters so far above you that the longer you continue to thrash around, the more foolish you look, and the more worthy of a boot you are. I suggest that we end this and disengage. This was not...
It wasn't about us, is what you're trying to say.
Yes,
You were just after Salvador Garcia.
exactly.
You had nothing to do with us.
And the longer you keep me and my brothers, the more it becomes about you.
Well, then we'll endeavor to wrap this up quickly. Did you have interactions with the prince? Did you pass through the Camarilla Protectorate here, or did you just come directly into my territory?
The prince was informed.
I see.
But for fugitives such as Garcia, she need be only informed.
Right. I'll take it up with her. I liked that place, that's all.
This is... You will have to discuss it with her.
Oh, I will. Don't worry. Willow? Honestly, I am inclined to agree
That's
with
what
this
we wanted
gentleman.
to know, right?
Yeah,
We
I
just
am
wanted to
inclined.
make sure it was not us.
Yes, I'm actually quite happy to hear that.
You are beneath the notice of the Justicariat.
And that's exactly how I want to keep it.
Wise. I will say that it is unlikely you will remain such if we remain here for one more night.
Well, fortunately, we intend to be
We'll
done
treat
with
this like a catch and release.
basically that.
Well, then perhaps you anarchs have some wisdom.
Some of us.
Maybe.
All right. Well, Willow, you have any other questions?
put the stake back in him.
The young woman looks to you, looks to you, Willow, and then to Madison.
Madison will take a step back.
She comes in behind. He tries to like struggle and move out of the way, but he's in a pretty bad situation. She shoves it back in.
All right, well.
Cadence.
Yes.
So you show up at Benji's.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like an extended stay motel that he's hooked up in because it looks like you see his car and you see like a bunch of his stuff is kind of in the back.
Yeah, it's a short notice solution.
Like he didn't know exactly what the situation was, so it looks like he kind of loaded up a bunch of his stuff just in case it was a true bolt situation.
Right.
But yeah, you come up to the door of the thing and you knock, ring the bell. How do you approach it?
She's actually just gonna send him a text. She's like, I'm outside.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he comes to the door, and actually like comes to the door, opens it a little bit. And he you can hear him sort of talking to someone inside, and then he just sort of slips out and closes it behind it.
Hey.
Yeah, hey.
Glad you're safe. Things got crazy last night.
Yeah, it did, and they've gotten crazier. So your girl's here.
Oh, wow, that was fast.
Yeah. Who the fuck is this chick? I mean, I know you told me who she was, but who the fuck is she? What is her fucking deal?
So, as to what her deal is, it's weird. Like, okay, like there's people like me, and then there's people what turn into wolves, and there's people like her apparently who do magic and shit. The world is a weird, crazy place.
Okay, well, I didn't know about the magic shit. I'm just like, she's
Okay.
out of her fucking mind.
Bear with me here. Who she is, so she's one of the I was in a home with her for a while.
You told me all that.
Yeah.
It's
What is she saying?
I don't understand fucking half of it. Like she's talking about like the building blocks of the fucking cosmos and fucking, you know, how time works, and I don't fucking know.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
Magic is weird,
she's
apparently.
she has to be on drugs. Like she's like 100% drug thoughts by volume.
All right, I will just you know what, with the shit I saw when I saw her last time, I thought I was on drugs, and I can't be on drugs most of the time, so...
All right.
Sorry for freaking you out.
Do you want me to stick around?
That is entirely up to you. I trust you.
This is your problem. This is your fucking problem, sis.
All right, gotcha. You go do you.
She's like, cool. Do you think I can head back to the place?
I don't know. I gotta touch base with my other people. I don't know how compromised we are right now. So.
All right. Okay. All right. I got places I can be.
Okay. Thanks. You're the best.
The fucking people you introduced me, Cadence.
Do you think I want to? Like, I did not ask for any of this, okay?
No, I get you. All right.
Yeah,
I gotta go. All
right, go.
Good luck.
Thanks. She heads inside.
Okay, yeah, you head inside. There is something that you might call music being played on like some like iPod speakers.
Mm-hmm.
It is barely melodic. Just like weird instruments that you can't really identify,
Mm-hmm.
and very loud.
Mm-hmm.
and you hear someone singing along in some sort of chanting nonsense.
All right, so she's going to just say, hello?
The chanting sort of stops very, very quickly, and you hear, Cadence, is that you?
Yeah,
Come in, come in.
okay.
And like she is just sort of splayed out on a couch. She's got clothes on, but just barely. And like there is a bong sitting on the table next to her. There's a mirror with the remnants of a line of something, and just little baggies sort of scattering the area. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry that I left you last time we talked. I had to go though."
Okay, yeah, how high are you right now?
Oh, I'm pretty high.
Can you fix that?
Why would I want to? I can maintain. Sweet. I have been on such a fucking trip, you know? Ever since.
This...
Like, okay, so Vivian's great and all, and I love her, and she teaches me all sorts of shit, but then I ran into these guys called the Ecstatics, and I think they're more my jam.
I have no idea what you're talking about,
you
but
wouldn't.
this will...
They wouldn't, but it's cool. Do you know how time works? So here's the deal. So, like, time is, like, you think...
Reagan.
What? What? No, it's really important.
Oh, then you can tell me later, because I got important shit to do, too, okay?
Okay, but I think you really should know because it's important and it'll help you see your place in the universe. Like, because I know that like you and the rest of you like don't seem to have a place, but you do. Not that it's right or anything, but okay. What do you want to know? I'm here for you, sis. I'm here.
You know, this is whatever. First, I wanted to see that you were okay. Clearly,
Oh,
you
I'm
are
fine. I'm real good.
Some measure of okay.
Like there are so many things. Like there's so many doors to open in the mind and in the spirit, and it's like you have no idea, Kate. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing.
I wish I could, but drugs literally do not work for me. So
no, we can make it work. We can make it work. Like
no, I would really rather not.
We can make magic drugs, Cadence. I can make magic drugs.
Okay. Basically, what I wanted to see was 1, you're okay. Clearly, it's a measure of okay. 2, do you know how to get in touch with the wolf people? Because you know some of them, obviously.
Like, diplomatically, yeah.
Okay, do you know the one who's, like, super nice and, like, wears mom jeans?
Oh, yeah, I know her. She's alright, yeah, no, you want to talk to her?
Okay, I need to talk to her.
Okay, cool. Okay, so the way time works is like you think that it's just like one big river and it just flows in one direction. And are you following me here? Like that's what it seems like, right?
Okay,
It's
yes.
not like that at all. Like yeah, there is one river and it does flow in one direction, but there's so many other different rivers and some of them flow one way, some of them flow another, some of them flow at different rates, and like you can't even think of it like a plane, like in our world. It's more like a sphere, and they're all twisting around, and you can go back and you can go forward, and they can touch.
Okay,
and
so
they can go and your river. Okay, so your river, it moves really fast.
Okay.
So like it's only been running for like 10,000 years, and it's like gross and blood and not fun. But so like your history, like okay, so when you were alive, you were part of like the big human river, you know, the one that pretty much everyone kind of understands. But then you got pushed into the blood river. So you used to be in one time, and now you're in this like longer, stretched out time. So it's like
Mhm.
your thing has only been going on for about like 10,000 years in its
Mhm.
river, but but the big river is like billions.
Okay.
So do you understand? Like you're in
I
a
think
different
I'm
river.
following.
You're in a different river, but you're not out of the world.
Okay. All right. That I actually think I kind of might get that.
Cause you guys kind of like you got kind of like a biblical thing going on. So that's all
Maybe.
tied into that river. So like in that river, some of that's true,
Okay.
but it's not true in other rivers.
Okay. All
Truth is
right.
so fucking cool, Cadence. Truth is so cool. So
Okay,
many different things can be true.
Okay. All right. So this is all really awesome. I'm sure you're aware of some really cool shit right now.
Yeah, no, it's really
But I
great.
still think maybe you might want to sober up a little so that it's easier to have a conversation.
Drink some
Okay.
milk.
Obviously this is important to you, Cadence, and I don't want to invalidate your concerns. So she takes the bong and like taps out the things into a baggie, and she like sweeps up whatever's on the mirror into a little baggie, and she's like, okay, I can stop, and maybe I can speed things up, but I'm gonna need some me time. I mean, we can just chill, right? Have you
Yeah.
heard these guys?
They're not my style, but I can see.
Oh no, okay, you need to listen to it for like 20 minutes to really get what's going on.
Okay, if will 20 minutes be enough for you to regain some of your faculties?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll restart it from the beginning. You need to hear it from the beginning.
Okay.
All right, so back
Going through some struggles.
Yeah. Back at the temple.
I would like to take Madison out, and as well with the interrogator as well,
She
into
comes
like the
with you?
hallway. All right. So
We got to send it back.
I turn to the interrogator. How good are you at doing mind jobs?
That's
Are you good?
Not in my skill set.
Is there someone here that is? If it's a money thing, whatever. I need to.
She says, we can call on some people. We have people who have services like that, but you probably have the same access to them as we do. We don't have anything like that in our temple.
Madison, do you know anyone like that? Can you get a hold of anyone like that?
I could, but whether or not they'd make it here tonight is a whole different story.
Well, after the mind job is done, it won't matter.
Here's the thing, Willow.
I want to release him, but I want the circumstances under which we release him to be different.
The thing is, if we delay any longer, he's not the one who's going to be pissed off about it.
I
Right
intend to give him back. I intend to make it look like I gave him back without permission.
I mean, we could probably...
I want it to look like I'm selling him back for clout.
We could probably arrange that without any sort of wacky mind job stuff.
I do want to get rid of the other two. But I want him to remember that Salvador Garcia did it. It washes our hands of it. And then there are no hard feelings, because even though they say that they're professionals, you know there's hard feelings.
I am very reticent to kill the other two.
Your soft heart is going to get us killed.
I think it's important that we don't confuse doing what is necessary for doing what is easy.
Do you think in this situation Salvador Garcia would let those two go?
I don't
You're
know.
wrong.
Depends on which of his works you would want to draw your ethical framework from.
I'm not talking about his works. I'm talking about the man. I'm talking about the man that I worked with.
The man produced philosophies that guide the movement, that guide us, both of us. We're both students of his school, so to speak. What does killing them actually achieve? Honestly, let's fold it out.
I do not want all three of them to come back for us.
Okay.
On personal business.
Okay. Of the three of them, what proportion of their ability do you feel like is invested in the one right side that room that we're going to let go?
What do you mean?
Speaking. That guy is the fucking problem. That guy is the one who is actually a problem. We could have handled the other two. They're like us, maybe a step up. That guy doesn't have time for personal business, Willow. If this guy's doing jobs for the fucking Justicariat, I guarantee you he hasn't had a vacation in 10,000 years. We don't matter. As far as the Camarilla is concerned, we don't matter. But if we kill those guys, suddenly we do matter, because we could very well have not killed those guys. If we kill those guys, their sires and their childer and their clan, then they've really got a reason to fucking come back and do us a fucking job. If we let them go...
You think that now that they're in town, the prince isn't going to take advantage of that?
The prince can do whatever the fuck she wants. I'm talking about the larger picture here.
You think that she's not going to make us their job?
No, she doesn't have the authority, first of all, to order this guy around. If he's here on Justicariat business.
Like an Archon.
And she doesn't really benefit that much from taking us out. In the grand scheme of things. And because I'm part of us, she most certainly has no interest in necessarily eradicating us. If we kill them, we're inviting much more personal trouble than if we return them. Ethics and morals aside, as much as it pains me to say that, speaking strictly pragmatically, we still need to make sure those guys come back in one piece.
Okay.
Are you saying okay because you just don't want to argue about it, or do you agree with me?
I don't agree with you.
Okay. Then we need to keep discussing it until we can reach a consensus.
I don't think we will, Madison.
Well, luckily there's a third tiebreaker vote in this sort of situation.
She's going to side with you.
You think so?
Yes, she always does.
Why do you think that is?
She always has in the past.
Why do you think that is?
Every time I make the suggestion to do something practical, you guys decide to do something ethical.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to take your side. I'm not going to rock the boat. If you want to catch and release them exactly as they are, okay.
I don't want this.
I disagree.
I don't
and
want
in the
this.
future, remember what I said.
That's exactly what I'm concerned about, is I don't want this to be a point of dissent among us. We are going to have to really stick together. It's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Do what you want, Madison. I'm handing the reins over to you. You're a leader.
Well, all right then.
All right. And so she's very upset. She's getting her stuff and she's leaving. She's
Willow,
outie. She's very upset.
Willow.
Yes.
Did you want to do the other part?
What
the
other
circumstances of the return? Because I think that part of the plan had a lot of merit.
Unless you can get someone that can fix his memory of the event, then no. Put him in a fucking warehouse and I'll have the sheriff come and pick him up.
I think we can. All right. If you don't think it's worth the effort, I understand.
Yeah. All right. I have some phone calls to make. I'll
I'll
talk to you later.
close up shop here, I suppose.
Okay.
You do. And
So-
she sort of leaves.
Okay, so the plan is to basically relocate these guys to a neutral warehouse somewhere, and Willow's gonna contact the sheriff to get them picked up.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I'm going to put a handwritten note.
Actually, can I have that you say like the thing is I'm still very interested in him thinking that I'm not okay. And so if we can get the word out that they're there without me having to do it directly, that would be ideal. You
Okay.
think you can use my phone or something? I don't know.
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I have no wacky galaxy brain plots.
Send
for that
something.
one.
Send a note to the Marriott. Is it the Marriott?
Marriott
Yeah.
Marquis.
I mean, I have a formal line of communication with them. I can just.
Use that.
Although,
Let's make
if
it-
we wanted to go directly to the sheriff, that's a little different.
Yeah. Well, I just need he just needs to know that they're there so he can come pick them up. I feel like in regards to the attack that occurred, he'll show up.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah, we're gonna have them basically put probably right on the border.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Technically, like where the two borders adjut, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna include a note that basically says, and I'm actually gonna address it to the prince.
Okay.
And the note is gonna say, "Your Grace,
We don't want no trouble.
we understand that sometimes higher authorities become involved in smaller scenarios, and in understanding of the necessity of such things, and in acknowledgement of the peace that we have heretofore enjoyed with one another, we wish to place these three gentlemen into your custody to ensure that they are able to return to their taskmaster without any further molestation."
Okay.
Enclosed is an invoice for the $3,000 the Anarchy Movement is owed for the incursion of 3 members of the Camarilla into our domain.
Okay. Is that all the invoice is for? Not a.
Hey, listen, our haven got burned to the ground. What's that looking like?
I mean, has my insurance claim finished on the Haven? Like,
Yeah,
what's it evaluated at?
I'm sure that we can we deal with insurance, but I just want, in general, is that what you're charging them for, or is the 3 incursions, or are you putting the Haven on the bill as well?
I'm so tempted to just charge them for the 3 because that is so fucking petty,
Okay.
right? Like, that's got such big petty energy. But I also do want to be like, hey, it's your fucking fault my Haven got burned down.
That is your choice to make.
Mhm. Be like, oh,
Okay. I'm going to include a note that says, unfortunately, our existing agreement did not cover property damage
Mm-hmm.
that may have been incurred during such unscheduled visitation, and I would entrust the task of contacting me to ensure that proper recompense is offered for the loss of my home at your earliest convenience.
Okay. So with that bit of bureaucracy in place, and the coterie scattered to the winds, as it were, we're going to end for the evening. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Hopefully you had a good time with us tonight. This was pretty intriguing, I think.
This is awesome.
Mhm.
If you want to support the show, please check out our Patreon. And if you want to support the show, you can subscribe via Twitch. Your Twitch Prime is a great way of doing that. And yeah, generally, we love having our viewers enjoy the show. And if you want to support the show, there are ways to do that. I would absolutely love to thank my $5 patrons Mr. Eric Ramos, Mr. David Haddad, Miss Mo Ferrer, and Mr. Michael Tyson. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and end it off for the night. We will be back in 2 weeks. See you all then.
See you guys later. Fuck
Bye.
Nazis.
Oh,
Fuck
absolutely.
Nazis.
Fuck
Fuck
Nazis.
Nazis.
All right.